My name is Mandy Hinkle with Yoga Element in Youngstown, Ohio. And I've gotten a lot of requests for my healing yoga class. Now, healing yoga class is now called Earth Flow at Yoga Element. And it was born from a workshop that I co-created with Dr. Jamie Marich. It was a quarterly workshop that we did, and it was yoga for overcoming trauma. Now, trauma being any type of wound. So that could be an emotional wound, a physical wound, but basically it is a yoga class specifically for high levels of stress, such as PTSD, anything symptomatic of trauma, such as anxiety, panic, depression. It's also helpful for chronic pain, ailments of that sort. So I did a lot of research on specific postures and how and why they can help different types of trauma. So this class also is accessible to most everybody. So you don't have to be a yoga practitioner to try this one at all. You don't have to know the names of specific poses. I'll give really detailed instruction, and all you have to do is have a willingness to listen and breathe and move in a way that feels natural for you. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So you can choose to either start lying flat on your back, coming into your Savasana. Now, when we lie flat on our back, it aligns the spine, and it can be helpful if we have any kind of back pain going on. So you can start there, or you may prefer a comfortable seated position. Now, sometimes if you're sitting, you might be more comfortable if you sit on something. So if you have a yoga block at home, you can grab a block. If you don't have one, you can just grab a pillow. Sometimes when we sit on something, we find that we're a little bit more comfortable. It raises our hips, it helps us to align our spine. So you're either coming to lie flat on your back, or you're just coming to any comfortable seated position. It does not have to be a cross-legged seat. Any comfortable seated position will be just fine. And then we start to make this shift more internally. So you can choose to either close your eyes, or you could just steady your gaze at one spot. Now, when we close the eyes or steady the gaze, it helps the mind stay more quiet. And everything just starts to slow down a bit. We're taking in less sensory information. So either close the eyes or steady the gaze. And just become aware now of the sensation of breathing. So you're just noticing the natural tendencies of your own breath. And sometimes maybe we don't know where to start noticing. So it can be useful to notice the location of your breath. That gives us something specific to focus on. So where do you feel like your breath is coming from? Do you notice your breath more in your chest or in your belly? Do you notice your breath more as the air comes in through your nostrils? Do you notice your breath more when you exhale? So you're simply becoming curious about the natural tendencies of your own breathing. Where am I noticing my breath in my body? And then can you just soften your jaw? Maybe relax the tongue inside the mouth. And just breathe. we're going to start to find our deeper yogic breathing, Ujjayi pranayama. Now this translates to victorious breath. And you simply breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the nose. So you're inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Just trying not to let any air escape out of the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Now this is a healing breath to the mind and the body. So it can help to melt away anxiety, high levels of stress. It can ground us in times of panic. And it's such a powerful breath. It can even help to shift us out of that fight or flight mode. So it's a really beneficial breath in terms of trauma. Now, I really do believe that right now with the coronavirus, all of us have some level of trauma happening. We have some level of wound that we're carrying, some level of stress that we're carrying. And this breath can be extremely helpful in grounding us. So really focus on your breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Now, as you continue focusing on your own breathing, I'm going to share some words with you. If you struggle with stillness, I get it. Know that we'll be moving soon. We'll be moving soon enough, but for now, you are just resting, just breathing. There is definitely something tender and throbbing about groundlessness. It's a kind of testing. The kind of testing that spiritual warriors need in order to awaken their hearts. Sometimes it's because of illness or death that we find ourselves in this place. And we experience a sense of loss. Things falling apart is a kind of testing and also a kind of healing. We think that the point is to pass the test or to overcome the problem. But the truth is that things don't really get solved. They come together and they fall apart. They come together again and fall apart again. It's just like that. The healing comes from letting there be room for all of this to happen. Room for grief, for relief, for misery, for joy. Now from here, begin to slowly blink your eyes open if they're closed. If you are in a seated position, just gently begin to make your way onto your backs. So we're all coming down onto our backs. If you're already on your back, you may find that you want to wiggle your fingers or your toes. You might want to shake the head slowly. No. Just inviting some minimal movements back into the body after time spent in stillness, anything that feels natural. And then from here, we're going to walk our feet in a bit. So our knees are bent. Our feet are about hips distance and our ankles are underneath our knees. So feet about hips distance, ankles underneath the knees. Now on an inhale, we're going to lift the buttocks up off of the ground, sending the belly button up towards the sky.
for our bridge pose. If you would like to deepen this a bit, you can clasp the hands underneath the buttocks and then scooch the shoulder blades underneath the body even more. Now keep rooting the feet down as you firm the inner thighs in towards each other. Keep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Another deep breath in. On your exhale, just lower down slowly and breathe slowly too. Breath in through the nose and breath out through the nose. So we'll take that one more time. Again, your feet are about hips distance, ankles underneath the knees. Inhale, lift, send the belly button up towards the sky. Lift the buttocks up off the ground. Keep firming the inner thighs in towards each other. If you feel like deepening, clasp those hands underneath the buttocks. Scooch the shoulder blades underneath the body even more. Breathe fully. So bridge pose can be one of the best poses for overcoming trauma or activating through the sacral chakra, which is where we can carry a lot of our fear. We're getting into the hips, coming in for our heart opener. So we're sending the chest up high. One more inhale. Now exhale, just go ahead and lower down. And this time you're gonna hug the knees in towards the chest and you're gonna rock slowly from side to side. Just rocking back and forth, side to side, releasing the low back. And then gently coming center and pausing. Now from here, we're gonna find our happy baby. So we're gonna bring the soles of the feet towards the sky. Now your knees are still bent and your hands are going to clasp the outer edges of the feet. Getting into the hips a little more deeply. You can stay right here, or if it feels nice, you can rock from side to side. So it's a little mini massage for the back, using your own body weight. Or you may find that you prefer just to stay center without rocking back and forth. So whatever feels best for you. Keep the breath slow and steady. Try to keep the exhales nice and long. Noticing the sensation that you're feeling through the hips. Try to soften the wrists a bit, maybe soften the fingers, taking tension out of the hands. And then from here, you're going to bring the hands to the outer sides of the knees. You're just going to press the knees together. Go ahead and cross at the ankles. Rock yourself up to seated. You're going to extend the legs out in front of you, flexing through the feet, reaching the arms up. Inhale. Now exhale to your seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Think more about lengthening the spine forward than any kind of destination of reaching the toes. So it just goes where it goes. You're simply lengthening the spine forward. Try to find length even through the back of the neck. And then soften the jaw as you relax the chin down towards the chest. Relax the tongue inside the mouth too. Melting in and breathing. Softening. Pausing. Forward folds can help with anxiety, stress. We're also starting to wake up the legs, the hamstrings. Take one more long exhale where you are. Maybe sinking in a little bit more. And then slowly come on up. We're going to find our bound angle, Baddha Konasana. So you're going to bring the soles of the feet together now. And you can place the hands wherever they're most comfortable. So maybe you clasp the outer edges of the feet, kind of opening the feet like you're opening a book. It may feel more natural for you to just grab your toes or just kind of clasp near your ankles. Try to focus on rooting the sit bones down as you find length through the spine. So there can be a tendency to kind of round through the back here. See if you can keep rising up. And then steady your gaze at one spot or close the eyes and just breathe. Take a deep breath in, inhale. Exhale slowly, slowly, slowly. Now from here, we're going to extend the arms out. Let's bring our thumbs to our index fingers. Notice if you start to collapse a bit in your spine. So are you starting to round the back? Can you keep rising up? Keep lifting. Length through the back of the neck even. Soften the forehead here. Relax the creases above the eyebrows. Just breathe. Maybe you're gazing softly down. And maybe you're closing your eyes. Whatever makes you feel the most comfortable. Take a deep breath in. Inhale. Chest fills with air. Exhale very slowly. Let go. Let go. Now from here, keeping the legs just as they are, we're going to press the palms like this. You're going to bring the knuckles of the thumbs to your forehead, to your third eye. Pausing here. Once again, you can either gaze softly down or close your eyes. And we tap into that sense of the silent observer that's always there, that inner knowing, and that state of awareness. That state of awareness is who we really are. So we are not our fear. And we are not our struggle. And we are not victims of circumstance. We are awareness. We are that inner knowing. That light within. Just pause here. Maybe you're noticing the sensations rising through the hips. Maybe you can soften the knees a bit. One more inhale. Now exhale, just bring the fingertips down to the ground. And then once again, you're going to extend the legs out in front of you. And from here, we're going to find our staff pose, Dandasana. So legs are out in front of you. You're going to place the hands really close to you, wrists parallel to the back of the mat. You're going to flex through your feet. Roll the shoulders back. Press the hands down. Flex through the feet. You can either gaze softly down or maybe even gaze towards your nose. So this is a grounding posture. Grounding poses can help whenever we're feeling anxious, stressed. So really feel the sensation of the ground below. So noticing the mat underneath your hands, or maybe you're not on a mat, maybe you're just on the floor. Maybe you're noticing the sensation of the floor right underneath your palms. You're rooted, grounded, connected to the earth. Breathing slowly. Now go ahead and just soften that so you can kind of relax your feet, soften the elbows. You're going to now bring the feet in and you're going to bring the hands out in front of you. So you're coming into a tabletop, coming onto all fours. Your wrists are parallel to the front of the mat. Your hands are about shoulder distance apart, and your knees are about hips distance apart. We're going to move through our cat-cow. Inhale, arch the back. Exhale, round the back, curling in. Inhale, arch the back, let the belly go. Exhale, round the back, top of the head heavy. Inhale, arch the back. Exhale, round the back. Take a few more at your own pace so that you begin to synchronize your own breath with your own movements. Really waking up the spine here. And then the next time you find yourself in a round back, just pause. So the back of the neck is long, top of the head heavy. Pausing. This pose can help with back pain, neck pain. Just pause here. Breathe into the rounding of the back. Inhale. Exhale. Coming back to your neutral spine. So coming back into your tabletop. Look down at your hands. Make sure that the hands are still shoulder distance. You're spreading through the fingers. And then curl the toes in towards you. Press it back to your downward facing dog. Hands shoulder distance apart, feet about hips distance. Let this first downward dog be your own. Maybe you want to come up onto your tiptoes, lower the heels back down. Anything that feels natural, you can slowly pedal the feet back and forth. Try to keep the gaze towards the navel, or maybe close your eyes. Breathe slowly. Breath in through the nose. Breath out through the nose. From here, just very slowly walk the hands all the way back to meet the feet. You're finding you're standing forward fold, Uttanasana. So your feet are about hips distance apart. You're just folding over the body. If you like, you can grab a hold of the elbows and hang. There could absolutely be a micro bend in the knees. Try to tip the weight forward into the toes as you relax the chin down towards the chest. Soften the sides of the neck. Just relax the neck. Remember, forward folds are calming. They can help with high stress, anxiety. So reversing the blood flow in the head can be calming to the nervous system. Just pause here, let go. Try not to be in a hurry to move on to the next thing and the next thing. Maybe you notice the bottoms of the ribs against the thighs. If you're clasping the elbows, go ahead and release that. Find a gentle bend in the knees if you haven't already, and just slowly roll on up to stand. One vertebrae at a time. Head coming up last. When you make your way up, you might want to roll the shoulders back, couple times, letting go of any last bits of tension. And then gaze out in front of you. And ever so slowly, walk to the top of your mat. But make this a walking meditation. Move slowly. Notice exactly what it feels like through your toes when you walk. Notice what it feels like on your knees when you walk. Notice what it feels like on your heels when you walk. Notice where you seem to be leading from. Are you leading from your chest, your belly, something else, your head? No right or wrong here. You're just paying attention. You're going to come to the top of your mat and you're going to find your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Now for mountain pose, you can either have your feet about hips distance apart, or you can have your feet together, big toes touching. It's whatever feels most natural in your own body. Root the feet down without gripping the toes at all. So if you like, you can even lift the toes and lower to make sure you're not carrying tension there. You're just rooting down evenly with all four corners of the feet. Gaze right out in front of you or close your eyes. Lengthening through the spine. Maybe even imagining that the back buttock flesh is melting down towards the heels to help you find that neutral pelvis. Soften the belly. Reconnect with your breath. Relax the sternum in between the breastbone as you widen through the collarbones, softening the tops of the shoulders down. Finding some length perhaps through the back of the neck. Relaxing the sides of the neck. Relaxing the jaw. Finding our grounding here. Really noticing the feeling of the bottoms of the feet against the floor. What does that feel like? Take a deep breath in. Inhale. Exhale. Now from here we'll find some flowing. Please know that you could absolutely skip the low flow. You could skip the vinyasa and you can just bring yourself right back to downward facing dog if that would be better for you. So from here on an inhale, reach the arms out to the sides and then just press the palms above the head. Exhale, bow down and fold. Now inhale, stretch forward to a flat back. Exhale, you can either just come right back to downward dog. You can either just walk the feet back to downward dog, or if you like to flow, find your plank. Chaturanga is your exhale. If you're flowing, you inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, curl the toes. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Just breathe. Remember, in downward dog, the gaze is either towards the navel or you could choose to close your eyes. Smooth out your breath here. Slow the breath down. Inhale to your toes. Exhale, the feet meet the hands at the top of the mat. You're back in your standing forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale to a flat back, lengthen the spine forward, lift through the low belly. Exhale, curl it right back down and fold. Now staying strong in your legs, rooting the feet down. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, press the palms above the head. If you like, you can look up. And then exhale, hands to your heart center. Pause here, Samastitihi. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale it right back down to your mountain pose, Tadasana. And again, inhale up. Exhale down. Release and fold. Inhale, find length. Exhale, either downward dog right away, or maybe you flow, taking it back to plank. Chaturanga is your exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Breathe slowly. Stay active in your arms by firming the triceps in towards you, really drawing the shoulder blades down the back. Inhale to your toes. Exhale, the feet meet the hands at the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold it right back in. You're in standing forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, pressing the palms and exhaling. Hands to your heart center, Samastitihi. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale, mountain, Tadasana. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, low flow. Or come right to your downward facing dog. You can always skip that flowing sequence, honoring whatever you need in the moment. Right away in downward dog, find that gaze. Remember, gazing at one spot helps quiet the mind, so maybe you gaze towards the navel, maybe you close your eyes. Try to lift the kneecaps up so you're firming the quadriceps strongly up off the knees. We'll take one more. Inhale to your toes. Exhale, feet meet the hands, top of the mat, Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold it right back in. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the sides, press the palms, maybe gaze up. Exhale, hands come down the midline of the body, pausing at our heart center, Samastitihi. Inhale. Exhale, mountain, Tadasana. Last one. Inhale up. Exhaling down. Inhaling, flat back. Exhaling, flowing through your vinyasa, or just skipping that vinyasa in coming right to your downward facing dog. Downward dog is like our home base. We slow the breath down, we steady the gaze. Grounding ourselves here. Now from here, go ahead and inhale the right foot forward. You can leave your left foot just where it is, so you're in a low lunge. Just going where you can, but if you can, right ankle underneath the knee. And then we're slowly going to come on up to a crescent lunge. Now you can always modify your crescent by bringing the knee down. So maybe that left knee is down, Or you're here, biceps by the ears. Softening the tops of the shoulders down. Reaching up through the fingertips as you steady the gaze at just one spot. Inhaling. Exhaling. Deep breath in. Exhale, you're going to lower the arms, clasping the hands behind you. And then reach the hands back, send the chest forward so you're opening up through the heart center. Inhale. Exhale back to your crescent pose. Inhale. Exhale, come right to your downward dog, or if you want to flow, you can walk that right foot back to plank, lower through chaturanga, and find your flow. Only flowing if it feels nice in the body. If the flow is exhausting, overheating, if it's too hard, just skip it. Not necessary at all. Your practice is enough. Your practice is enough. Even if you stayed in a seated meditation breathing. Inhale the left foot forward. So here we are in that low lunge. Take a moment here to find your stability. See if you can firm your inner thighs in towards each other. And then come on up to your crescent pose, biceps by the ears. Reaching up through the fingertips. Pulling the belly in. So you're supporting yourself with a strong core here. We don't want to collapse in the belly. And just breathe. Soften your forehead as you gaze at one spot. Inhale. Exhale, the arms coming down. You're going to clasp those hands behind you. Stretch the arms back, the hands back. Send the chest forward, pulling the shoulders back. Inhaling. Exhaling the arms back up. Inhaling. Exhaling, bringing the hands down to the ground, shoulder distance. Maybe you walk that left foot right back to downward dog. Maybe the left foot comes back to plank. Chaturanga is your exhale. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Just breathe. This time we're going to inhale the right foot forward, spinning the back foot flat, coming up for our warrior one. So in warrior one, we line up heel to arch, meaning the heel of the front foot lines up with the arch of the back foot. Then you bend this right knee, your torso shifts forward. Your arms reaching high. Relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears. Just pausing. Virabhadrasana 1, strong warrior. Slow, deep breathing. Soft, steady gaze. Inhale. Exhale, those arms come down. Clasp the hands. Send the hands down, chest up. This time, maybe you look up. Inhale. Exhale to your humble warrior. So you're bowing down, hands are still clasped. Inhale up. Exhale, warrior 1, arms reach high. Inhale. Exhale, you're going to find your warrior 2. So now you're stretching your arms in opposing directions. Maybe you can take the gaze past that front middle finger and breathe. Keeping the breath smooth and steady. One more inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down to the ground, shoulder distance. Now maybe you take it to downward dog. Maybe your body needs some more movement. And you flow through that vinyasa once again. Now from here, coming into it on the other side. So you inhale that left foot forward. You spin the back foot flat, lining up heel to arch, coming up to your warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. Try not to worry too much at all about whether or not you're doing the pose right or wrong. Instead, right now, focus more on your breath. Am I breathing in through my nose? Am I breathing out through my nose? Am I keeping my breath smooth and steady? So you find this rhythm with your breath. Inhale. Exhale, arms coming down. You're going to clasp the hands, send the hands down, just up. Maybe look up. Inhale. Exhale, humble your warrior, bowing it down. Pausing here. So you're relaxing the chin down towards the chest here. Inhaling up. Exhaling, arms reaching back up for your warrior one. And then inhaling and exhaling. Opening up to your warrior two. Try to stay really active in your arms as if you're pressing something down with your hands. Soft, steady gaze past that front middle finger if that doesn't bother your neck. If it bothers your neck, you can just gaze softly down, just keeping the gaze at one spot. Inhale. Exhale. One more deep breath in. Now exhale, bringing the hands down, shoulder distance. So maybe you come right into your downward facing dog. Maybe you take a flow, finding your plank, lowering down. Now from here, we will all meet in our child's pose. Unless child's pose does not feel particularly restful for you. So if you're okay in child's pose, that's when our big toes touch, the knees open, and we come forward. You can come here. Now that pose does not feel restful for everyone. It usually doesn't for me anymore with my knees. You can just come to any comfortable seated position. So either child's pose or a comfortable seated position, and just breathe. Take a deep breath in. Nice long exhale, let go. And again, deep breath in. Exhaling slowly from here. If you're in child's pose or if you're in your comfortable seat, you're just going to come on down to your back. So we were here towards the beginning of our class, setting up for another round of heart openers. So you're on the ground, feet about hips distance, ankles underneath the knees. We're going to come on up for a bridge pose. So we did this right at the beginning of class where you inhale, reach it up, lift the buttocks up off the ground. Send the belly up, send the chest up. If you want to deepen, clasp the hands underneath the buttocks. Scooch the shoulder blades underneath the body even more. And breathe. Keep pressing the feet down as you firm the inner thighs in so that there's a lot of hard work happening in the legs. One more. Inhale, exhale, lower down, and rest. Now from here, we're going to take another back bend. So you could take another bridge pose if you like, what we just did. If you have a block at home, if you have props at home, you're more than welcome to take a supported bridge pose, bringing the block underneath the sacrum, underneath the low back, and just opening up the arms. Or if wheel pose, Urdhva Dhanurasana, is a part of your practice, you may come on up into your wheel. So bringing the hands behind you, wrists parallel to the back of the mat, inhaling up to the head first, and then pressing it up. Now, if you're in your wheel pose, make sure the feet are parallel so that we're not splaying the feet out. Wherever we are, we're breathing. There's a tendency to lose our breath in our back bend, so keep the breath steady. If you're in wheel pose, when you're ready to come down, maybe bring your chin towards your chest first, lower the head down. If you're in your bridge or your supported bridge, you can just come on down. This time we're going to hug the knees in towards the chest. We're going to rock from side to side. Just releasing the low back. Gently coming center and pausing. Slowly rocking ourselves up to seated. And we were here towards the beginning of class 2, just extending the feet out, legs out. We're going to take a seated forward fold. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, take it forward and down. Paschimottanasana. And breathe. Pausing. Breathing. Gently coming up. And I'll show you where we're going next. So we're going to take Supta Baddha Konasana. And maybe you'll take it supported if you like. So if you have props at home, if you have a bolster, you can grab your bolster. Okay, now if you don't have a bolster and you would like to try this pose supported, you can just grab some pillows if you like. So you don't need any yoga props at all. You don't even have to use pillows. So you could just take this on your back without anything at all. But here's the setup if you want to use props. Now the reason for using the prop is to get more of a lift, more of a heart opening through the chest here, but it's not necessary. So if you have your props, if you have a bolster or some pillows that you'd like to set up, you bring that to your sacrum, to your low back. And then we bring the soles of the feet together. So we were here towards the beginning of class as well. We were in our bound angle. But this time we're going to take it on our backs. So the feet stay just where they are, and then you come to lie back. So maybe right now you're on a bolster, maybe you're on a couple of pillows, and maybe you are just on your back without any props. Now that's totally cool too. So here's what it would look like if we weren't using props. It's not necessary to use any props, so no worries. Maybe you're here. So soles of the feet are together, opening up through the arms to wherever they're comfortable. And we will just pause here. Now, if at any point in time this feels like it's too much in the hips, especially if you're supported on a bolster, you can just relax the legs out in front of you. So just pausing.
just breathing. Try to keep the exhales nice and long. So the next time you exhale, maybe you can follow that exhale all the way until it ends. So you're following the exhale all the way down to its base. Oh, and look, it's my friend Gus. He's coming to practice with me again, and with you too. So wherever you are, if you're on a bolster, if you're on a pillow, or if you're just on your back with nothing at all, take a moment to really check in with how you're feeling here. So are you super duper comfortable and you don't want to move a muscle? If you want to stay here for your final meditation, you absolutely can. But if you prefer a traditional savasana, lying on the back, you can bring the palms of the hands to the ground. Just press the hands down to lift yourself up. You can release those legs out in front of you. Take one last seated forward fold, floating over the legs. And then you can come on down to your back. So maybe you're staying in that restorative pose. Maybe you're coming down onto your back. If you're coming down onto your back, you may like to take a supine twist, knees, legs to the right, head, neck to the left. Pausing here, just allowing the back to release. If you're in your supine twist, you can slowly switch sides. Legs coming through center. And just slowly switching sides. Pausing here. If you are in your supine twist, you can make your way into your savasana. Just lying on your back. Letting go of any last bits of effort. So even any effort with your breath, just finding natural breath. Doing any little extra things that you may do to make yourself comfortable. I always take my hair out of my bun. You might want to cover up with a blanket. Let go of any concept of there being a right or wrong way to meditate. There's no right or wrong here. It is just about a willingness to surrender. Reminding yourself that it's okay to just be here, breathing. Body at rest. Mind at rest. Body at rest. Mind at rest. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Shavasana.